Yes, I'm Shane from Cardiff. I've been selling the big issue in Cardiff on and off now for about eight and a half years. My normal pitch is Charles Street on Queen Street in Cardiff.
So what's different about this week?
Well, Christmas is rapidly approaching. This is when Santa comes out. Elf suit comes out from a dog. Try and give a bit of festive cheer back to people. Make them realise that it is Christmas time. It is a different time, and
Is this the biggest week?
this is my big week. This is where I jump in with both feet and go, well, come on then, let's have it, everybody. And I get more and more ridiculous as the weeks go on, dressing the dog up, putting lights on the dog, tinsel. If I had my way, I'd have a stereo on the street with Christmas songs, but apparently I'm not allowed. It's you ladies. It's you, love.
Being homeless at Christmas.
Well, it's harder at Christmas because it's colder. You're missing your family that little bit more. The nights are longer. You know, it's in general it's different, a little bit harder.
So does it really bring it home that at Christmas more than any other time that?
For me personally, no. I mean, big issue up. For me, every day's the same. You just got to get by every day, get by every night. But I suppose for a lot of the boys, they're going to miss their families more, and it's going to be harder, you know.
Sasha, did you have Sasha before you became homeless?
No, I've had her from a pup. She was 8 weeks old when somebody gave her to me. I was selling the big issue at the time, and a lady said, well, you know, if I buy a magazine, will you take the dog? I was like, yeah, grand. Good companionship. How I started the big issue? Yeah. It was due to a relationship breakdown. Had nowhere to go, nothing to do, no money to live on. So a friend of mine was already selling the issue and introduced me to the office. And I've been doing it ever since, on and off, I suppose.
Yeah, did you take to it instantly? Was you?
It was hard to start off with because it's a new job. Nerves on the first day. I can remember my first day. My friend was selling however many mags, 30 mags straight away. I was stood there and this woman come up to me and she gave me 12 pence. And it was so degrading, and I was like, what am I going to do with that? So I just quit for the day. And we decided to go for a pint, and I can remember 2 pints was £4 and 12 pence. I had the 12p, didn't I? But yeah, after that your shoulders get thicker and you start working.
Laura Thomas, I'm the sales manager for Cardiff and Newport areas. So I'm responsible for all the magazine sales at the Cardiff office, Newport distribution point, and I've got pitches which is far up as Llandrine Dodwells, over to Abergavenny, all the way down through Cardiff, Newport, Vale, and up the A470 to Merthyr. The big issue was co-founded by John Bird nearly 20 years ago with Gordon Roddick of the Body Shop. After Gordon Roddick returned from New York, where he'd seen people selling a street paper, thought it'd be a good idea because there was a big recession going on, to set up something where the homeless people would be able to earn a living and help themselves. There's 5 different editions in the UK, and Camry being one of them. The other one, the main Big Issue magazine, Big Issue in the North, Big Issue Scotland, and a Big Issue Southwest. Our vendors, they come from all completely different walks of life. Got people who've been through a care system, vendors who've had nice houses, very good jobs. For whatever reason, they've found themselves to be homeless or vulnerably housed, which is where their accommodation is not secure, could be lost at any point, could be rent arrears, could be sofa surfing, mortgage arrears. I wouldn't say it was a last resort, I wouldn't say it was a first start. It's something which is available there, the only place where somebody could come through the door and be out and earning a legitimate income within a space of about half hour, 40 minutes.
So would you say many people sort of they sell a big issue, and that's, do they ever get out of it?
Yes, they do. I used to sell a big issue. So yeah, so now I'm here. I sold the big issue for nearly 2 years, back in the early 90s, end of the 90s. Then from that, I managed to find secure accommodation, went to university, then had my children, came back as a volunteer, and then a full-time position became available. They have made the choice to actively work and try to legitimise themselves. So it's important to buy magazines off the vendors, make sure you take the magazine off the vendors. Always take the magazine, it's £2, it comes out every Monday.
You do get the odd people putting money in the dog's water as well. It's not a begging bowl, Sash. Got nothing. Here's you folks. Ladies.
What are you doing there, Shane?
Make my way back to the office just to buy some more mags. I've had a good morning, run out, one left, pick up another 10. So,
Can you keep sort of do you have to pay from there and then, or can you keep sort of a tab? Or?
we pay for them up front, buy them for £1, sell them for £2, they've just gone up in price. But if you don't buy them, you can't make a profit.
So what, if you don't sell it, can you take them back or?
No, it's not too bad midweek, because if I don't sell them today, I can sell them tomorrow.
Yeah.
But on a Sunday, if you get stuck with any, they go in a bin. It's like a shop buy in the sun, you know, they don't get refunds.
No. Is it just the sell the issues here, or is there any other services they provide here?
Well, in the office upstairs, you've got editorial, the managing director, other office staff, admin, etc. And then downstairs, you've got sales and you've got services. That's run by Eugene in Cardiff. He's the services manager for Cardiff, providing help with forms, phone calls for not only vendors but pretty much the whole homeless sector. If anybody who's homeless needs to come in and needs help with anything, needs help with rehousing, etc., then he'll do his best. Can I have some magazines, please, Beth?
Is the
Over by here.
okay? Thank you.
Got a sign for your magazines so that there's no discrepancies at the end of the week. So they know how many I've bought, and I know, so.
There we are. Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Yes.
Okay, I'm the vendor services worker. My job is to provide support and advice to vendors regarding a range of issues they face when they're homeless.
So say like I was homeless and like I wanted to get into selling the big. What would be the process like?
Okay, homeless people are sometimes referred by other services, and sometimes they bring themselves along when they're aware of the big issue. They would come in. The first protocol is to meet with me and undertake a basic assessment of what their circumstances are at the moment to see whether they're eligible to sell a big issue. So whether they're homeless or they're vulnerably housed. I kind of assess that and assess their suitability to work. So hopefully they're kind of on top of their personal issues enough to be able to conduct themselves in a semi-professional manner in the street. I then refer them to our sales colleague, and our sales colleague goes through the process of giving them a badge, giving them an induction so they know where the pitches are, and a basic introductory training module.
Do you ever turn any people away to?
We do turn people away. We don't badge up Schedule 1 offenders, which are rapists, murderers, child abusers, etc, etc, etc. If somebody comes in and that's their kind of background, I'll check with colleagues, and if that's discovered, then they'll not be permitted to work. Additionally, I've got a lad recently who's come in, struggles with alcohol. He's drunk most days. He's come in, he wants to sell a big issue. He's got a great heart, he's a nice individual, just really struggling with the booze. He comes in and he's wobbling everywhere saying, "Can I have a badge?" It's quite difficult. Then I say to him, listen mate, what's got consistently under the influence in the daytime, can't put you on a pitch when you're under the influence. So recently we said, if you can appear 3 days at 3 o'clock and come in at 3 o'clock on 3 days consecutively, and you kind of, you know, you're with yourself, you're not in the drink, and then we might think about badging you up in the afternoons or a particular time.
Would you say there's enough like services out there, like shelters and stuff like that? For them?
No, there isn't enough services across the board. I mean, the homeless statistics the government provide are generally accepted to be not accurate. There's a lot more homeless than the government suggests, and we've got a couple of different types of homelessness. You've got street homeless, you've got hostel homeless, you've got sofa surfing. The sofa surfers are never counted, so they're the people who are staying with friends while they have nowhere to live. A lot of students go through there intermittently for small periods of time, but there's some people who've had housing problems and live with relatives for a couple of years. They're not counted in homeless statistics. So the guesstimate of how many homeless people there are is too small, and therefore services are aimed even to fill that gap. If they filled all that gap, there'd still be a shortage of provision, because in effect there are more homeless people than the government suggests.
Like issue. Issue anyone? Big issue, folks. Well, I didn't necessarily quit to come back here. I enjoy I enjoy doing it.
It's more than a real job.
Well, with a real job, you've got you're run by a boss, so you've always got to look to somebody. With this, I enjoy doing it because once I buy the magazines, as long as I stick to the rules, I'm my own boss. I can have a cigarette when I want, have a cup of tea when I want. I'm not actually deemed to anybody's timescales and whatever.
So would you say sort of institutionalised?
No, that's the wrong word. I mean, I enjoy doing this job. I mean, whether or not other boys would be classed as being institutionalised in it, I don't know. But to me, this is a job. It's a way of an income, and it's fun.
Future plans to get out of this? Or?
Yeah, we've all got plans. Some plans work, some plans don't.
That's realistic, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Might win the lottery tonight.